Welcome to the Morning Download Podcast, your go-to resource for personal finance, economics, and market insights. In just 8 minutes a day, we provide valuable information to help you make better money decisions. Don't forget to sign up for our free newsletter at https://www.morningdownload.com/subscribe. Let's dive right in. In today's episode, we'll cover topics such as rich Americans evading taxes, Warner Brothers Discovery's earnings, the impact of bad credit scores, cryptocurrency updates, and the importance of taking care of your credit.
Reports show that rich Americans are getting away with evading more than $150 billion in taxes every year. That's a staggering amount. It seems like high prices and taxes are driving many Americans to leave the country, but here's the kicker. The U.S. actually taxes its nationals on their worldwide income, no matter where they live. Sneaky, right? However, there are some foreign earned income exclusions and foreign income tax credits that can help alleviate the burden. But don't worry, the IRS is finally cracking down on these tax evaders. They're going after individuals and companies with a vengeance. In fact, the agency believes that this increased enforcement could generate an extra $561 billion in tax revenue by 2034. Talk about a cash cow. It turns out that the IRS is pretty good at its job, managing to bring in $6 in revenue for every additional dollar it spends on enforcement. So far, the agency has identified 1,600 millionaire taxpayers who owe at least $250,000 each in assessed taxes. They've already collected over $480 million from this group and have their sights set on collecting even more. They're now targeting areas they may have overlooked before, like the ownership and use of private jets. No stone will be left unturned. In other news, Alibaba co-founder Joe Tsai is confident about the company's future, claiming, "We're back." AT&T experienced a massive network outage, but is now offering reimbursements to affected customers. Reddit, despite not turning a profit for nearly 20 years, has filed to go public. Looks like they're ready to make a splash in the market. And let's not forget about Lenovo, who just unveiled a laptop with a see-through screen, and Samsung, who released a smart ring with health tracking features. Not to mention, experts believe that electric air transport is going to be a big thing by the end of the decade. Taxis, ambulances, and cargo deliveries might just be flying around sooner than we think. Warner Brothers Discovery didn't meet expectations for their earnings, both in terms of revenue and earnings. The decline was mainly due to a drop in advertising revenue. Loss per share amounted to 16 cents, missing the expected 7 cents, while revenue reached $10. $28 billion falling short of the expected $10, $35 billion. Despite this setback, there was a positive note in the report. Warner Bros. Discovery managed to gain new subscribers during the quarter, with 7 million streaming customers by the end of the period, up from 9 million in the previous quarter. The company has high hopes for its Max streaming service, expecting it to be profitable by 2024. However, they anticipate some losses in the first half of the year due to content generation. Looking further ahead, Warner Brothers Discovery forecasts that Max will generate EBITDA of $1 billion for 2025. CEO David Zaslav remains optimistic about the company's future, stating that they are on a clear pathway to growth. In 2023, they generated $2 billion in free cash flow and paid down $4 billion in debt. Warner Brothers Discovery also has plans to expand its Max streaming service into key international markets. However, there were no new details provided regarding their ambitious sports joint venture. On a different note, Berkshire Hathaway, led by renowned investor Warren Buffett, posted operating earnings of $481 billion in the fourth quarter. For the full year of 2023, operating earnings rose by 17% to $350 billion. Berkshire Hathaway also held a record level of $167, $6 billion in cash during the fourth quarter. In other news, the U.S. Supreme Court is set to hear landmark social media cases, which will certainly attract attention and have significant implications. It seems like major crypto prices have been relatively stable over the past few days. Not much movement happening there. However, central bankers are saying that Bitcoin falls short as a global currency. Interesting perspective, right? But on a positive note, Ethereum's price is on the rise. It recently hit a new peak around $350, which is pretty impressive. There are even some whispers about the possibility of Ethereum becoming a spot currency. Exciting times for Ethereum enthusiasts. In other news, Binance, one of the largest crypto exchanges, has finalized a plea deal with the U.S. Department of Justice. The deal amounts to a staggering $3 billion. That's a lot of money involved in the world of crypto. Meanwhile, Uniswap's governance token, UNI, saw a 60% jump in value. This spike came after a proposal by a key leader of the Uniswap Foundation to revamp the protocol's decision-making process. Looks like that proposal struck a chord with investors. Back in 2009, Bitcoin's mysterious creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, warned that the cryptocurrency could consume a significant amount of energy. Those warnings are now more relevant than ever, as the energy consumption of Bitcoin continues to be a topic of discussion. On a more positive note, a blockchain researcher managed to recover stolen funds from an NFT heist. It's always great to see justice being served in the crypto space. Unfortunately, not all news is good news, as a $100 million fraud scheme has been uncovered in Myanmar. It's a reminder that scams and fraud can exist anywhere, even in the world of cryptocurrency. So, let's talk about personal finance and why having a bad credit score can be a cause for concern. It's not just a mere number, but it can have a huge impact on various aspects of your life. First off, loans become more expensive when you have a poor credit score. The interest rates on credit cards can soar above 30% for individuals with bad credit, and this applies to all types of loans, including mortgages and auto loans. For instance, let's say two people are buying the same $300K house. The one with a credit score of 620 might pay around 8% interest, while the one with a score of 760 or higher might pay just 2%. That's quite a difference. Next, having a bad credit score can limit your options when it comes to mortgages and credit cards. Some companies only work with individuals who have a good credit score, and 620 is often the minimum requirement to qualify for a mortgage, according to Experian. Furthermore, your credit score can impact your insurance premiums. Insurance companies consider your credit score when determining your quote, so having a poor score might result in higher premiums. When it comes to finding a place to live, landlords commonly run credit checks. They look at your credit report, specifically your payment history, to assess your reliability as a tenant. So, a poor credit score could make it harder to convince landlords to rent to you. Surprisingly, even finding a job can be challenging with a bad credit score. Some employers actually look at your credit score as a way to evaluate your trustworthiness and responsibility. Candidates with a bad credit history might be seen as unreliable, which can impact their chances of getting hired. Lastly, utility providers pay special attention to your credit score. If you have a poor credit history, they might ask for a deposit as a guarantee. While the law allows utility companies to request deposits from all customers, they might waive it if you have a good credit score. In some cases, a letter of guarantee from a third person promising to pay if you default might be considered too. So, there's this quote of the day that I came across, and it really got me thinking. It goes like this: if you don't take good care of your credit, then your credit won't take good care of you. Now let's let that sink in for a moment. It's pretty profound, isn't it? Credit is something that affects so many aspects of our lives, whether we realize it or not. From getting a loan to buying a car or qualifying for a mortgage, our credit plays a key role. If we neglect it, it could really come back to bite us in the long run. Think about it. If you consistently miss payments, max out your credit cards, or ignore your credit altogether, your credit score is going to suffer. And when your credit score takes a hit, it becomes much harder to secure the financial opportunities you might need in the future. On the other hand, if you're diligent about paying your bills on time, keeping your credit utilization low, and monitoring your credit report regularly, you're setting yourself up for success. The better your credit score, the more likely you are to get approved for loans and receive favorable interest rates. So, the bottom line is this: take care of your credit, and it will take care of you. It's definitely worth the extra effort to maintain good credit habits because the benefits are far-reaching. Trust me, you'll thank yourself later.
In this episode, we discussed the evasion of taxes by rich Americans, the struggles and successes of Warner Brothers Discovery, the impact of bad credit scores, the updates in the world of cryptocurrency, and the importance of taking care of your credit. Thanks for tuning into the Morning Download, your go-to podcast for personal finance, economics, and market insights. In just 8 minutes a day, don't forget to subscribe for more helpful content and sign up for our free newsletter at morningdownload.com/subscribe.